Step into my story. I had always been drawn to places that were off the beaten path, the kind of places people avoid, the ones with a history darker than the night itself. When I stumbled upon an old map tucked away in an antique store in a small town, I thought I'd found the perfect adventure. It led to a place known only as the Forsaken Bridge, a structure abandoned decades ago after a series of unexplained disappearances. The locals were tight-lipped about it. I tried to press them, but all I got were warning glances and hastily changed subjects. So, naturally, I became obsessed. Something about the mystery gnawed at me. Maybe it was the thrill of the unknown. Maybe it was the dare. Either way, I couldn't resist. One evening, I decided to go, alone. I needed to see it for myself, to prove that these ghost stories were just that, stories. The sun had already set as I drove down the winding road. The air was thick with tension, as though the night was holding its breath. My headlights barely cut through the dense fog that clung to the road like a suffocating blanket. The map led me into an area where civilization had clearly given up. No lights, no signs of life, just the long, creeping road and the thickening mist. The closer I got, the more the world seemed to close in on me. The trees loomed like dark sentinels, their twisted branches reaching out like gnarled fingers, their leaves rustling softly in a wind that didn't seem to belong. A low growl of thunder rumbled in the distance, but there was no sign of a storm. I should have turned back, but I didn't. As I approached the bridge, something felt off. I could see its silhouette in the distance, half hidden by the fog, sagging under its own weight, as if it had been forgotten by time itself. The old wooden planks groaned under an invisible pressure, and the iron rails were rusted, barely holding on to the structure. The faintest whisper of a scream seemed to echo in the air, but it was so soft I thought it was just my imagination. I parked my car at the edge of the road and stepped out, the fog so thick now it was almost suffocating. My flashlight cut through the darkness, illuminating the path ahead. I felt a shiver creep up my spine, but I pushed it aside. I wasn't afraid. Not yet. As I approached the bridge, the hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. The bridge seemed wrong, like it was alive. It wasn't just abandoned, it was waiting for something, or someone. I took a cautious step onto the first plank. It creaked under my weight, the sound so loud in the dead silence of the night that it felt as though the entire bridge had just woken up. I hesitated. The fog seemed to swirl around me now, thickening, closing in, obscuring the path back to my car. I was trapped. Then I heard it, a soft sound, almost like whispering, carried on the wind. It didn't come from anywhere around me. It seemed to come from within the bridge itself. I froze. My flashlight trembled in my hand, illuminating something in the distance. There, standing just beyond the center of the bridge, was a figure. At first, I thought it was just a shadow, maybe the result of a trick of the light. But no. As I focused, the figure became clearer. A woman, dressed in old-fashioned clothes, her face obscured by the hood of her cloak, standing motionless in the middle of the bridge. Her presence seemed to drain the air around me. "Hello?" I called out, my voice trembling. The woman didn't answer. She simply stood there, as if waiting for me to move closer. Against every instinct screaming in my head, I took a step forward. The bridge groaned beneath me, louder this time, as though protesting my every movement. My feet felt heavier with each step, as though the ground itself was trying to pull me under. When I was just a few feet away, she turned toward me, slowly, her head tilting unnaturally to the side. And then she spoke, but the words didn't come from her mouth. They were whispers that seemed to come from the very fabric of the night itself. "Do you know why you're here?" I stumbled back, the flashlight dropping from my hands as the words echoed in my ears. I tried to speak, to scream, but nothing came out. It was as if the world had become a thick, suffocating fog, and the only thing that existed was her and me. Then I saw it. Her eyes, pale, empty, black as coal, stared at me with a hunger that made my blood run cold. Her lips twisted into a cruel, unnatural smile, and that's when I knew. I wasn't supposed to be here. I had broken the rule. The one rule every local knew, but no one dared speak aloud. Never cross the forsaken bridge. The ground beneath me trembled, and I looked down to see the planks splintering, cracking, as if the bridge itself was coming alive, eager to claim me. A cold hand, unseen, gripped my ankle, pulling me toward the edge. I fought against it, clawing at the wooden planks, but it was no use. And then the whispers grew louder, more frantic, a chorus of voices all around me, all saying the same thing. "She'll never let you leave." In a last-ditch effort, I forced myself to turn around and run. The mist thickened, the air became suffocating, and the sound of the woman's laughter followed me as I fled. I didn't look back. I don't remember how I got off the bridge. The next thing I knew, I was in my car, shaking uncontrollably, staring at the bridge in my rearview mirror as it disappeared into the fog. I didn't stop driving until I reached the first town, my mind racing, my pulse pounding. They say that if you hear her voice, if you step onto the forsaken bridge, you're never truly free. That she follows you, watching, waiting. And I know, deep down, I wasn't the first to fall for her trap. I might never be the last. Because once you cross that bridge, there's no escaping what's waiting for you on the other side. So, remember my story. If you ever find yourself near a bridge shrouded in mist, you'd better turn around, because she's waiting for you.